Hi there, it's Albert Luck again from luckymaths.co.uk, working through this Work Solutions Paper 1A calculator version, again available on the website to download and use with your students, or of course, if you're a student watching this, hopefully this will help you understand some of the ways, alternative ways, let's say, to do the answers. So, without further ado, the first page, a couple of options, maybe a few techniques to do things a bit differently. Question 1, using a ratio table, if 1 week equals 7 days, using doubling is quite a good, obviously, strategy. Just to confirm, 5 weeks is 35 days. Question 2, 4 lots of 2y. I've written it out in full to prove why that is 8y, because sometimes some students may believe that might be 6y for some reason. Question 4, ordering decimals. If you make them all the same length, it's a lot easier to organize them. A very common mistake or misconception is the more decimal places, the larger the number, which unfortunately is not the case. Question 6, a good opportunity to possibly visualize this question in a bar model if you need to help understand it. Again, if there's 4 people, kind of representing, their boxes, 4 boxes. The one on the right is for the one amount of £36. And if there's 84 in total, that leaves the black bracket for 48 must be the remaining money that's going to be equally shared between the remaining 3 people. 48 divided by 3 there is 16. Question 7, I've chosen to use a ratio table to show if 1 bike costs £24, 2 bikes 48, and so forth, by doubling. 12 bikes is made from 4 bikes plus 8 bikes. 96 plus 192 is 288. And similarly, the question below that, if I basically add the 8, the 4, and the 1 bicycle together, 192, 96, and 24, the underlying numbers on the bottom equals 312, meaning that must have been 13 bicycles. These questions, not done anything different. For solutions, again, because median, you'll be finding the middle number. Mean is, again, adding and division. And angles, addition, subtraction. Likewise, the two-way table is all about adding and subtracting 2. And writing probability, generally go for a fraction for that question. So, speed, distance, and time. I would say the ratio table is a great method to use rather than the triangle. I'll call it the speed, distance, time triangle. Which can be confusing for students. As an examiner, I've seen students not really know what to do, how to lay it out properly, of course, which causes problems before you start. So yeah, if 1 hour is 60, 2 hours, 120, 3 hours, 180 minutes, to help with part A. And if a car travels at 55 miles per hour, i.e. in 1 hour, it will go 110 miles in 2 hours, and then 165 in 3. Percentages is an interesting topic on the calculator paper because I've seen a lot of students manually work these questions out, unfortunately, so not using the calculator, and proceed to get them wrong. Again, which is a real shame, but I'd argue, of course, if you've got the basics really sorted to a high level, you could do this question without the calculator, because ultimately, if you can work out 10%, double it to 20, and double to 40, and double to 80, you can find 5,760, which I know I've kind of highlighted. It's not the answer though, because that is what the government grant will pay. But 80% leaves you with 20%. So in my ratio table, we can see 20% is 1,440, which is obviously what our answer should be, because it's the remaining money to pay for the school. So yeah, percentages, again, if you've got a good calculator method, obviously keep using it because the calculator is better. My argument would be, what if you don't, well, you choose not to use your calculator, make sure you've got those basic habits in place. Sharing ratios is definitely one of my favorite topics to do a bar model to. We've got the three people, Aisha, Ben and Chloe, represented as A, B and C. I've chosen to draw the 3, 4 and 5 boxes accordingly to match the ratios in the question, which means I've drawn out 12 boxes. And because we're splitting 4,800 basically into 12 parts, 400 goes in each box. And then it's a nice, easy job, hopefully, to just add those 400s up to end up with 1,200, 1,600 and 2,000. We've got another example of how algebra can be useful, done possibly visually. To expand the bracket, 2 lots of 2k plus 1. Just written that in this box on the left here, 2k plus 1, and again, so that's 4k plus 2. That'll get you a mark on this question. But then I've chosen to use a bar model to represent that the 4k and the 2 equals 9. So if we take away that 2, we're left with 7. Again, the black bracket on the top is showing that 4k equals 7. And then I've done a slightly different solution here in terms of the value. It's not 7 over 4 is essentially correct. But if 4k is 7, if we half that, 2k is 3.5. And so 1k would have been 1.75. So you can leave this answer as 7 over 4. Or if you do choose to work it out because you want to get, let's say, the actual solution in this decimal format, so 1.75. And finally, I've chosen to literally draw this out with marbles in colours to help understand it. So we start with 30 marbles in a bag. We've got 10 red, clearly visible, 12 blue and 8 green. So this is the starting point. But then Liam's going to add 10 more marbles to the bag. So the new total is going to be 40. So I'm kind of going to this bar model I've drawn at the bottom because we're told the probability that the marble will be blue is going to be a half. Half of 40 is 20. And so there's going to be 20 blue counters after some have been added in. And because we know we started with 12 blue, to get to 20, we hopefully understand that's the difference of 8. And I've drawn in there were 8 extra blue marbles. Now, there are only 10 extra ones that are put in this bag. So if 8 of them were blue, that leaves by elimination again 2. Those marbles must have been red. Okay, because we've gone from 10 red to start with to finish with 12. So that's an extra 2 for red. And again, that's how you can use some of those techniques, the ratio table and the bar model, to hopefully answer more questions and maybe understand some of this stuff a little bit easier. Thanks for watching.